Hello and welcome. This is QTV News. I am Mamadou Gajaga and thank you for joining us. First, our main news headlines. The former permanent secretary at the Ministry of Fisheries and Water Resources, Dr. Bamba Banja, has been sentenced to 2 years in prison for bribery and corruption and fined over $1.1 million following a High Court ruling. A 10-day capacity building workshop on research methodology organized by the Ministry of Higher Education in collaboration with the Department of Human Development and Social Affairs of ECOWAS began on Tuesday. We hear how the expanded program on immunization EPI fared when it reached the North Bank region. And in business news, after going through intensive training exercise, Front Star Driving School on Saturday conducted a second field exercise for its trainee drivers in the Farafenni branch in North Bank region. And in international news, Nigeria has postponed gubernatorial elections amid ongoing legal disputes over the result of the 2023 presidential election. That's all in the headlines, and now the news in detail. Welcome and thank you for joining us. This is QTV News. First, we apologize for starting the news late because we had some technical hitches. The former permanent secretary at the Ministry of Fisheries and Water Resources, Dr. Bamba Banja, has been sentenced to 2 years in prison for bribery and corruption and fined over $1.1 million following a High Court trial. Julden Jai reports.
Justice Bakre of the High Court has convicted Dr. Bamba Banja, the former permanent secretary of the Ministry of Fisheries, on the 3 criminal charges he faced. Dr. Banja has been found guilty of economic crimes, corruption, and 1 count of a public officer in favor. The presiding judge convicted Dr. Banja and sentenced him to a mandatory jail term of 2 years and a fine of $1 million for corruption. The judge also ordered him to pay a fine of $100,000 or serve a 1-year jail term, and on the charge of a public official in favor, he has been fined $50,000, the failure to pay which incurs a 6-month jail term. The Attorney General's chambers said Dr. Banja's conviction is in connection with his acceptance of bribes to secure the release of fishing vessels that had been arrested by the Gambian Navy for violating fisheries regulations. The charge stated that in doing so, he caused the state economic loss. According to the reports from the High Court, Dr. Banja pleaded with the court to temper justice with mercy as he has a young family. Dr. Bamba Banja had been put on administrative suspension following his implication in an investigative report published by Malagan, an online news outlet, in October 2020. The alleged bribery took place after Golden Lead's vessel was found guilty of breach of the Fisheries Act. The court had the company officials opted for an out-of-court settlement and decided to bribe the permanent secretary to facilitate this. In addition to fishing vessels, the company operates a fish meal factory in Gunjur. Punishment for breaching the conditions of licensed vessels ranges from $5 million to $25 million. The court also heard that, due to Dr. Banja's intervention, a decision was taken by the ministry to fine Golden Lead only $1 million instead of the mandatory $5 million to $25 million they should have paid. According to Malagan's investigations, in an article written by investigative journalist Mustafa K. Dabo and evidence presented in court, Dr. Banja received at least 5 payments of $100,000 each between 2018 and 2020. But surprisingly, none of the cases was taken to court. However, in the press release from the Attorney General's chambers about Dr. Banja's conviction, it is stated that the Office of the Attorney General is pursuing several other cases relating to corruption and financial malpractice. For QTV News, I am Julden Jai.
A 10-day capacity-building workshop on research methodology organized by the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology in collaboration with the Department of Human Development and Social Affairs of ECOWAS began on Tuesday. I attended the opening, and this is the report. This training is about preparing Gambian researchers for research methodology in an ever-changing world where research is key. This capacity-building workshop aims to train researchers on drafting research methodologies and research projects to obtain funding from partners employing international standards. Dr. Roland Kwaku, Head of Division Science and Technology at the ECOWAS Commission, speaking on behalf of Professor Fatou Sow Sarr, ECOWAS Department of Human Development and Social Affairs, stressed the importance of the training.
It is to me the need that ECOWAS and the ministries have come together to offer this training after those who were in Guinea, in Côte d'Ivoire, in Cape Verde, in Guinea-Bissau, in Benin, the last one was in Niger, and from this training we are going to Togo. This workshop indeed will be an interactive workshop, because we know that all the researchers, they know the way, but it's just to interact. During this workshop, we will be going to present the ECOWAS Research and Innovation Support Program.
Research methodology gives research legitimacy and provides scientifically sound findings. It also provides a detailed plan that helps to keep researchers on track, making the process smooth, effective, and manageable. Professor Pierre Gomez, the Higher Education Minister, who helped get this researcher training in the country, says that there is a need for highly skilled researchers who will be able to tap funds for development programs.
The Ministry's effort to bring about structural transformation is knowledge-driven and capital-intensive. Therefore, setting up a pool of researchers and challenging them to learn new ways of sourcing funds for the sector is a precondition for our survival and development, preserving our sovereignty as a nation, continent, and people. A well-equipped, well-informed academic, ready now to take charge of research activities.
Professor Pierre Gomez further added that the Gambia must prepare her people for the jobs of the future, in which technology advancement, skills, and research will be required. He also says that the country shouldn't be left behind in a rapidly changing world.
We need to use research to educate our people on the unavoidable industrial revolution coming on our way. The Gambia must be part of that rendezvous. What would be the Gambia's contribution to that revolution, industrial revolution? Should we be bystanders?
It is expected that this training will lessen the education sector's reliance on outside researchers and consultants in trying to present the case for a pitching for funding. Mudu Gajaga, QTV News. At the expanded program on immunization, the NBR Regional Health Team have issued a call for others to join the national effort as they embarked on house-to-house vaccination throughout the North Bank region. This report by Don Williams is narrated by Churchill Balde.
At the Regional Health Directorate NBR, Team Farafenni, before being dispatched to their different areas, Lamin Bah, a public health officer, gave words of encouragement to the teams, saying they must work diligently as they visit compounds to ensure they achieve their objective. Ansumana Suso explains the encouraging performance of Team Farafenni.
Farafenni constitutes of 33% of the regional population. If Farafenni fail, regionally we fail. If Farafenni performs, regionally we perform. Regardless of some of the minor facilities, even they have 200% coverage, if Farafenni have less than 50%, we may not be more than 60%. So obviously we are employing on you to continue on your good efforts. And definitely we are proud of you guys this time around. You are setting up early, and at least we are seeing the results. The success of this campaign lies in the hands of the canvassers. The canvassers has to do what they're supposed to do. Go to the compounds, talk to people, tell them the importance of the vaccinations. Obviously, these are people who has been accepting campaigns before today. So if we cannot convince them, well, they may not be able to take the vaccines. But if we can give them substantial information, I know they'll be in a better position to take the campaign.
One of the team leader, Omar Gassama, a public health officer, confirms that they are getting positive results in terms of uptake.
Basically, people should try to accept this vaccine because this vaccine is safe and it was tested by the WHO. They should not listen to the social media because those people, what they have said, does not represent the reality. Yeah, people are taking the vaccine, yeah.
In Kir Ali, a border village with Senegal, was another team where we met the regional principal public health officer, Lamin Jabate.
The general objective of this particular campaign is to meet up the country's targets that will enable us to have the herd immunity. The herd immunity in essence meaning, the remaining 30% that probably may not take the vaccine will not have any effect on the other people on the 70% that are already vaccinated. That is the main objective.
Mr. Jabate said that despite the challenges, there are good signs that they will reach their target.
We have been having series of this campaign, but this time around we having a big hope that we are gaining momentum at this stage at the moment, because the first day we have had a very good coverage compared to the previous campaign. And the second day was also impressive. In fact, compared to the previous campaign, we are saying for the past 2 days, the gains that we are having are really impressive, and we hope and pray that we will get the target before the end of the 10 days.
A national supervisor of EPI, Abdullah Diba, was in the field to monitor activities and says he is satisfied with the trend.
Really, I am a national supervisor in this region, but they are doing a great job because as of yesterday alone, they were able to vaccinate over 1,200 people, and day before yesterday also they vaccinated, more than 1,500. And today also, with the way things are moving, we are expecting high figures.
The nationwide vaccination campaign ends tomorrow, 10th March. The public is urged to take the vaccine. For QTV News, I am Churchill Balle.
From that story, now for a commercial break, and when we return, we still have some more local, international and sports news stories. Do stay tuned.
Modu came in to buy some bathroom floor tile, but once he laid eyes on our basins, he fell in love with a stunning basin and with a breathtaking faucet. With a brand new mirror too, at a bargaining price.
So, I got a bathtub too.
Oh yes, he picked up a bathtub too.
And yes, that's Batimat's Bati Days. Take advantage of exceptional discounts up to 60% on tiles, sanitary, electrical, and lighting. From March 4th to 18th, you will be splurging. Batimat, welcome home.
Te Alhaji Siddiq Labo, ntenga vaccination otale. Adum bal fana yamarale vaccination ota men sin tanka na banko kan ayen so jati ken leala.
Welcome back, and thank you very much if you're just joining us. This is QTV News, and now straight we head to business news.
The second batch
In business news, after going through intensive training exercise, Front Star Driving School, one of the best driving schools in the country, on Saturday conducted a second field exercise for its trainee drivers in the Farafenni branch in the North Bank region. This story by Don Williams is narrated by Julden Jai.
The second batch of students have been trained both in theory and practical aspect of driving by experienced tutors. The Alcalo of Farafenni, the security forces, drivers' union and members of the community attended the event. Mankama Kujabi, warrant officer in the 2nd Infantry Battalion in Farafenni, advised the trainee drivers to always use the knowledge gained to minimize or eradicate road traffic accidents.
Accidents are very rampant nowadays. It is all about careless driving. Anywhere an accident occurs, the first charge is what? Careless driving. Even though at least you are not at fault, you are charged for careless driving. So anytime you are driving, you are termed to be the best or the most intelligent person. All other users are termed as madmen. Make sure anywhere or anytime you may find yourself, apply the drills you are taught.
Aissatou Jallow, Front Star's Farafenni branch manager, also had this to say to the trainees.
We don't only teach pour nga ñëw for the testing just to pass. We teach you pour nga mëna xam loy def, because testing because it's not all about the driving. Driving is beyond that. Motor su ñëwé in the class, dañ leena teach this thing, and also dañ leena teach road science. Road science dafa important during driving. Ñu ne su fekkee ne yaa ngay drive xamloo the road science dafa mel ni a blind man walking. Yaa ngay just walk without any instructions. Te ñu suñ driving school bi dañ ko andi fi, and our main aim is to reduce the accident rate yu happen fii nii si biir dëkk bi. So in that way moo tax ñu ngi establish in so many places.
Antoinette Mendy, General Manager Front Star Driving School, also addressed the trainees.
One thing they emphasize in school is standards. We don't compromise when it comes to your standards in terms of driving. So testing with this is not the first time you come in Farafenni. Then correct in so many places you are amantene swing branches nyungfa, and then they make sure swing students in train lola guy they manifest in that testing ground. If you guys do something that lo hamantene is wrong, then you want perhaps yan jelulen send time to listen to them mulen don't train. And anybody could fail come numko wahe. Don't consider yourself to be an instructor or a driver. Don't consider yourself someone elect dama am certificate dama am lantin from FS Driving School.
Amadou Jallow is the testing officer for the trainees.
I am very proud of the trainee drivers for doing extremely well, especially the female trainees. They always pass the exam.
Bala MS Ndao gave his impression as a trainee driver.
The tutors are very friendly, and then the school also is a very good environment for people to go and learn about driving. Because when they are training about the driving, definitely they are down to earth. They give you all the knowledge that you need in driving and skills like that.
Front Star Driving School aims to reduce road traffic accidents by also teaching trainee drivers to obey the speed limit, yield to pedestrians and cyclists, wear seatbelts, avoid drunk driving, and obey the legal codes of the road, among other road safety tips. At the end of the program, a presentation was made to security personnel. For QTV News, I am Julden Jai.
From the end of that story, now to international news. Nigeria has postponed gubernatorial elections amid ongoing legal disputes over the result of the 2023 presidential election. Mohamed Balde has more.
In a statement announced late on Wednesday, Nigeria's Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced a one-week postponement of gubernatorial elections in 28 of its 36 states, which were originally scheduled to take place this Saturday, the 11th of March. An INEC official is quoted as citing logistics challenges as they are currently in an ongoing legal battle over the result of the 2023 presidential election result, which was announced on the 1st of March. Bola Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress APC was declared the victor, beating his opposition Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party PDP and Peter Obi of the Labour Party, who finished second and third in the final votes respectively. Obi and Abubakar both rejected the results of the elections, claiming tampering and collusion on the part of INEC and the APC. At the center of the dispute are the bimodal voter accreditation system BVAS machines, which were first introduced in the 2023 presidential elections. INEC advertised the machines to the public as a means of promoting transparency, as the machines would be able to verify voters' identity using facial recognition and biometric data.
INEC has introduced the Bimodal Voter Accreditation System called BVAS for accreditation of voters using their fingerprints or facials for authentication. This device replaces the smart card reader and will eliminate all possible cases of voter impersonation.
However, due to several delays in the tallying of votes and the failure of the BVAS system to operate as intended, the PDP and the Labour Party believe the published results do not accurately reflect the will of the Nigerian people. A Court of Appeal order last Friday permitted Abubakar and Obi to inspect the Beavis machines and other sensitive electoral materials. INEC then filed a motion the following day requesting permission from the court to reconfigure the machines, which would mean purging the accreditation data currently on the Beavis machines. The court granted the motion on Wednesday on the condition that they ensure that accreditation data from the presidential elections would be available on the Beavis back-end server. The data on the Beavis machines is likely to be integral to either strengthening the cases of the opposition parties or vindicating INEC and the APC. For QTV News, I am Mohammed Balde.
And now next is sports news. The Kerawan Sitokoto Nyanija road race was organized at Kerawan Sitokoto village in the Central River region to promote health and peaceful coexistence. The activity was spearheaded by the Kano Foundation. This report by Bakari Balde is narrated by Julden Jai.
This is the first village road race in the district, and the community participated fully in the run, including children, youth and the elderly. Such activities are not common in rural Gambia, but the team spirit in Nyanija has galvanized many people within the community and surrounding villages to take part in this activity. Mohamed Jabi, the General Secretary of Kano Foundation, is very impressed by the turnout and advocates for the continuity of the activity.
You can see from different levels, the children, the women, the old men, old women, everybody participated. The people are hardworking. They've been involved in agriculture in all aspects. But this time we have reached this level. 2023, Kerawan Stokoto Nyanija want to start the first marathon. And I'm very sure and I'm convinced the Minister of Sports will really appreciate this. And I think next year, that's 2024, the Minister himself will be invited to Kerawan Stokoto Nyanija for the second edition of our marathon. We would also like to thank Isabel, the local name Aisha, who also was the main sponsor of this marathon in Kerawan Stokoto here.
Isabel Petrans is the chairperson of Kano Foundation. She is a nurse in Belgium and often came to the Gambia to offer free medical services to the communities in Nyanija. She is also the main sponsor of the race.
We had the idea last year to do like a marathon so everybody could enjoy himself. So I want to thank you all my friends and family who donated the t-shirts, the people from the little villages. You immediately feel part of the community. I'm here all alone, so it wasn't easy for me. I only speak English and a few words of Mandinka, but they helped me a lot to adjust and to be part of the community.
Mamadi Kamara, the Alcalo, and Yakuba Jabi, the deputy imam of the village, both are delighted for taking part in this event.
This is the first of its kind in this village. We thank God and the community for coming together. We thank Isabel for sponsoring the event. We all know that sports contribute to our well-being. I am the second deputy imam and I participated in the race to show that we are all one. The whole community has participated.
Fanta Kamara, the oldest woman in the village who also participated in the run, thanked the organizers and advised the youths to promote peace and unity in the village.
This is history for our village, so we are grateful to Bamba and Isabel. This shows that we are united. I have lived long and know this place very well.
Running or walking has many health benefits. Amongst other things, it can help reduce the risk of developing conditions such as type 2 diabetes, heart disease and cancers. The event was also used to raise cancer awareness. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena E. Gwenyiba.
Yes, Lena E. Gwenyiba there. As we initially said, Julden Jai, apologize for that. And now a recap of our main news headlines. The former permanent secretary at the Ministry of Fisheries and Water Resources, Dr. Bamba Banja, has been sentenced to 2 years in prison for bribery and corruption and fined over $1.1 million following a high court trial. A 10-day capacity building workshop on research methodology organized by the Ministry of Higher Education in collaboration with the Department of Human Development and Social Affairs of ECOWAS began on Tuesday. We heard how the expanded program on immunization EPI fared when it reached the North Bank region. And in business news, after going through intensive training exercise, Front Star Driving School on Saturday conducted a second field exercise for its trainees drivers in the Farafenni branch in the North Bank region. And in international news, Nigeria has postponed gubernatorial elections amid ongoing legal disputes over the result of the 2023 presidential election. Well, that's it for this edition of QTV News. Thank you very much for watching. Join us again at 10 for another news bulletin.